This story contains some strong language. Day 23. Sanctuary. The air was fresh, and the sun shone invitingly, bouncing up off the crumbling road, wet from the night shower. Theo knew he was very exposed being out in the open like this, in broad daylight, but it was so quiet and the weather so pleasant, he allowed himself to forget where he was for a little while. He was just going for a morning walk. The buzz of a drone gurgled somewhere behind him. His stomach sank and his heart jumped. He ducked in between two burnt-out cars and on the other side found a door missing. He crawled inside, a black puddle soaking into his jeans and up his wrists. He swore to himself. It had been going so well. The drone appeared, following the line of the road, dipped down now to head height, and Theo wondered if his hiding spot was too obvious. He pulled his filthy hood up and took his hands up inside his sleeves to hide the last parts of visible skin. He shrunk even lower on the wire frame of the old seat, trying his hardest to look like a pile of nothing. He could only hear the drone as it reached the car, the angry insect whir of its four rotors so loud at close distance. His heart pounded as he imagined it had stopped, but as he strained his ears against his own blood thudding, mercifully, he heard the drone continue on its way. A final burst of noise some way off down the road told Theo that it had given up and climbed away. It had been 4 years since the invasion. Theo was a little too young to remember much before that, but from what he'd learned since, the rhetoric had built up so much. As Britain felt safe tucked away in the corner, they would have to get through the whole of the European Union first. Except they didn't. Submarines in the Northern Irish seas launched preemptive strikes on London, Manchester, Edinburgh. It was so sudden and catastrophic, Europe immediately pulled up the drawbridge in fear of getting the same treatment. Not long after, long-distance bombers brought waves of tactical parachute teams who created a foothold for a larger force. With no government and the population in starved panic, their plan went off without a hitch. Well, almost. Theo had found himself part of a small, poorly organised resistance that blew up enemy installations or took out high-ranking guys that was stupid enough to be predictable. Or so Theo had heard, because despite numerous attempts with people who had either run away, been captured or killed, he had never seen an invader killed or any serious infrastructure get damaged. As he looked up out of the car husk at another scorched and empty row of houses, he wondered for what it was he was actually resisting. No, that's what they want you to think. His near-daily mantra. And once again, it heaved him up out of the muck, back to the pavement, and on his way. His way was towards a supposed contact in the next town, another stronghold, another resistance paradise. Yeah, he'd heard about plenty of those, and always found either nothing or bodies. But he didn't have much choice. His last group... A strong arm landed on his shoulder, pulling him down hard, and then... nothing. He came to, and had a blissful moment of feeling nothing, before an icicle of pain pierced the back of his skull. He winced and let out a harsh sigh. "Oh shit, you're awake." Theo's whole body tensed and without thought was looking down the length of his penknife, pointing at the man who had spoken. No, boy. Sitting in a swivel chair, lit by a cluster of monitors in the dark room, was a kid of no more than 13 or 14. He was tall, that was clear even in the chair, but his age was given away by his face and the fear in his eyes. The echo of what he had said rippled over Theo, and reassuringly, it had been in an English accent. "Where the fuck am I?" snapped Theo. You definitely still couldn't trust an English accent either. The boy slowly lowered his hands and took a breath. "We're on the same street. I found you just out there." He gestured towards a heavy piece of fabric hanging in a doorway. As Theo's eyes adjusted, he realised he was in what used to be a kitchen at the back of an old house. The curtain was obviously hiding the activity within from the hallway and then the street. "I've seen snipers on this street before, and you were just standing out in the open like an idiot. What were you thinking?" His eyes dropped to Theo's knife again. Theo lowered it. His head was killing him. The boy went on. "I didn't mean to grab you so hard. I lost my footing and your head went into a lamppost. I'm sorry." "Was that your drone too?" Theo asked, taking in the satellite images and body cam footage on the monitors. "No, I wish. Those things are indestructible." Theo couldn't see any reason to stick around. He blinked hard one more time and braced himself to get up off the sofa his saviour had put him on. "Wait," said the boy. "Are you a runner?" Runners were resistance who were willing, basically stupid enough, to travel around between different hidden sites, relaying messages or moving stuff. Personally, Theo didn't like the term because it seemed to absolve people who weren't runners from any of that dangerous responsibility. By asking, this kid had just put himself firmly in that camp. "I'm going up north. I suggest you do the same." "That's funny, because I definitely suggest you don't." The boy's face was set, and Theo felt he should listen for the first time. "Why?" "I'm not 100% sure, but I think we're being played. You're not the first runner to come through here in the last week, and even though it should have been possible, I lost contact with each of them not long after they left." He looked at his computer, as if to check he was still right. They were going north too. Theo had that same old sinking feeling. Of course they were. He started unlacing his boots. "What are you doing?" the boy asked. "I'm going to have a nap," said Theo, "and then we're going to find out what the fuck is going on, so you better get used to me." He swung his legs up onto the moth-eaten sofa and closed his eyes again.